Since September last year, for about 9 months now, I've been working in DG ECFIN, Economics and Financial Affairs. I work as a desk officer. I work on the Czech Republic. And the desk officers are basically the people who kind of work with the countries and monitor the countries and produce the different elements that ECFIN produces on a regular basis. I did my undergrad in Dublin City University. I did a joint program between GCU and a French business school, which is called European Business in GCU. So I did that with French, and it meant that after 2 years in GCU, I went to study in a French business school. And I did the rest of my undergrad degree there. After that I went back to Dublin, where I did a Master's in Economics in UCD, and I went straight from there into the traineeship program, the stage program in the European Commission. I was always interested in the European Union and the structure of the European Union, and I had some knowledge of the European institutions from having worked there in a stage. The European Commission launched some specialist competitions for economics, for economists, and EPSO, the recruitment area of the European Commission, came to Dublin and gave a presentation on these, which I went to, and I saw that the profile they were looking for was quite close to my profile, so I applied to that competition. It's really quite varied because there's different types of outputs coming out of DG ECFIN. So for example, for something like for the forecast, it's quite analytical. For something like the European semester, it's a much longer process, so it's a process that lasts maybe 9 months. The common element, I would say, is that it's quite intensively teamwork, in that I would work very directly with 2 other people who are also on the country desk for the Czech Republic, and all the different outputs have to be produced by me and these 2 other people. The training possibilities are quite strong, so there's a lot of in-house training. You're also encouraged to undertake external training courses, you source them yourself. And I think in terms of career development, again, they're quite huge because you're in this very, very large organisation, and it's quite fluid, it's quite easy to change between different DGs and different jobs. I think that Irish people have an advantage, of course, in that they are native speakers. So certainly in DG ECFIN, but in a lot of parts of the Commission now, English is the main working language, so you have that advantage when you come into the Commission. But then as well, I think that Irish people are quite well viewed because there's quite a number of higher level officials who are Irish who are very well viewed, so I think that reflects also on newcomers. What's very interesting with the job is the difference, so as I said, these different elements that you're exposed to. So I personally wasn't really working in this area before I started working in DG ECFIN, so it's quite an interesting learning curve for me to get up to date on all these different elements. But it's also an extremely pleasant working environment. You're working with all these different people who have come from their home countries, who now live in Brussels and work in Brussels, so it's a very pleasant, very multicultural working environment. Anybody certainly with interest in public policy is going to be interested in the work of the European Commission. It works on a very broad range of public policy issues, so if you have any interest in public policy, it's a good place to work.